钱都 care what you say。我来胡搞，我每天不累，我跑得太快，就看着我飞。从纽约到上海，上飞机每周都去回拜，全球都在我手中花开，散步都有神的神态。No lines at the border, we be in and out the zone. Paper in my pocket rolled longer than a scroll. Funny how they used to watch us and hate. Now the black card got the diplomat plate, so grown. The lifestyle is bigger than you know. Trying to learn the language, but they can't copy the codes. Yeah, you can take pics and pose. You're on vacation, this is our home. 我的口音不适合抖音 ABC 来自北京 TCK 帮你挑衅，变成明星让我高兴，看我无敌，看我调皮，跳着尾巴挑战上帝，看我调情，快去学习，成绩拿来给我比比。From Beijing to LA, I'm here to spend cash, don't care what you say. Moving too fast and I don't got brakes. The cars that you feel change with.
There we go. Hello, everyone, and let's try that again. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Philadelphia Asian American Film Festival live stream. My name is Tyler Wan, and I'm a programming volunteer for PATH. Today, I'll be moderating our live Q&A with filmmakers from our short In Sync, which was featured in our LMAO Shorts program. So we'll be taking audience questions throughout, so make sure you type those into the comment section. With that being said, I'll have you two introduce yourselves. Eddie, would you like to go first? Could you say your name, pronouns, your role in the film?
My name is Eddie Xia. I am the director and producer of In Sync, and pronouns, Eddie is fine, he, him.
Great.
Sorry, I forgot what else you want.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm Josephine. I co-wrote, acted in, and helped produce In Sync. I play Jen in it, and my pronouns are she, her. And hi y'all, welcome.
She's also the boss.
I'm the boss.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm so glad we have the two writers on, because I think I have to start by asking the question that's on everybody's mind who watch, which is, where did this story come from, and is it based on real life experiences?
Well, it was an interesting writing process because this film was originally made for a 72-hour film festival, the AA Film Lab Shootout. So we had a set of parameters already when we started writing it. We did it as a writing team. So it was me and three other writers, Ricky Dunlop, Kira McCarthy, and Andy Zhao. And the theme we were given was balancing act. So in the discussions that came up, we were trying to figure out, like, what are things people have to balance? And two of the things that kept coming up was relationships and calendars. So we ended up kind of combining the two, which was how the idea came about, like a couple whose Google Calendar did not sync up. We had a bit of a discussion about like open relationships and different relationships. And actually one of our co-writers was talking about how he is usually in an open relationship or has been in open relationships. And we were like, Andy, tell us more. So that's kind of where the idea went off, and we kind of went with it from there.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I can just say that as a director, I truly relate to it because I have shared calendars with my wife. So yeah, there's no secrets there.
Oh, that's the base that you related to it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's when they did it, I was just like, I'm just reliving my life. It's fine.
Okay.
Slave to the calendar.
So you mentioned 72-hour shootout, and that was actually, we partnered with them, PATH partnered with them this year as well. So could you talk a little bit more about the process? I know you talked about the writing, but also just the whole process of making the film within that time period.
You want me to go, Jen?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, if you want, you can do it.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I think, you know, I'd worked with Jen before in a reading of a play where I directed, and we were introduced by my wife. was also an actor. And from that point on, I really wanted to work with Jen. And
I'm
when
Joe, by the way. Jen is my character name, Eddie.
Right, sorry. I'm like looking at your screen. I'm just like,
I know.
why is Jen there? Okay, sorry. I really don't know her, so we just kind of met in the street. So it's like,
Yeah, just happened.
anyway, yeah. No, but we wanted to work together. At least I really wanted to work with her. I was begging her, please. So yeah, and then I've been participating in the 72-hour shootout for really long, like 15 years or so, whenever I can do it. And we both submitted, but she asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, I should really do want to work with her. And she assembled an amazing team. And I think they did rely on my sort of like familiarity with the process, and I had but it was really the best thing about it for me, at least, was that I was working with just a great group of people. Nobody had any egos. It was really just there to work. They were all professionals, and we really just had a lot of fun. And I think that was really, really important. And yeah, everybody got sleep. We had good time, and yeah, we really did a great job. Everybody did really wonderfully. So
yeah, we got really lucky that the team on this was just everyone was on point, like really great at what they do, and also just really great at collaborating with each other. Because when you only have 72 hours to put something together, you kind of just have to trust that everyone is like awesome at what their job is and go for it and trust each other, So we got very lucky.
Yeah. So one of our viewers commented how much they liked the wry humor in the short, and they compared it to a sarcastic New Yorker cartoon. So I'd like to move and ask where that sort of humor came from and where you got that your inspirations from.
Well, you had 4 sarcastic New Yorkers writing it, so I think that was helpful. You know what? I think, and I guess this maybe kind of answers the question, but again, we had a writing team, so it was 4 people. And I think one of the reasons we were able to get like such kind of witty banter and back and forth is the 4 of us were very open with when we were writing this in the short amount of time we had, and just like bouncing ideas off each other and being like, was that funny? Why do you think that's funny? Why is that not funny? Arguing back and forth, like, no, this is funnier. Mm-hmm. And I think just like the way like the 4 of us interact with each other kind of came across in the way those like characters were written. We also knew who was going to be acting those specific roles. We already had our actors as a team assembled and knew who you're writing for. And we all, this team, we'd all worked together before. I've been in acting classes with Jude, who played the person Jen was having an affair with for years. So I knew like he's really great at like comedy and playing like that kind of role. Vin and I have been working together. God, we've known each other for like almost 10 years and been in theater companies together. So, and Kira is one of my closest friends. So it was helpful to know where everybody's strengths were, I say. And I think that really came across with just the way they were able to interact and the way we were able to write their words.
Yeah. And I think as a director coming in, I knew that they had a lot of familiarity with each other, but being a born and bred New Yorker and a sarcastic MF, so I think it's pretty easy to catch on what the banter was like. But I think the writing was also very strong in that it was very natural, and it wasn't there was nothing that was really overtly comical or silly in that sense. And I think that was our approach, is that the situation is funny, not the acting, and I think that's what really helped. Yeah.
So one question that we asked all of the comedians that were in our Q&As was whether they were naturally the funny ones or known as the funny ones within their circles growing up. Does your family know you as the funny one, or your friends know you as the funny one in the group? So I'd like to ask each of you that question too.
I am not the funny one in my group. I don't know. If I am, I don't know it. Like, no, I'm not. I don't think I am. I'm not the funny one. I'm like the organized one. I'm the planner in our group of friends. One of our co-writers, Ricky, is like the funny one, but not me.
Yeah.
What about you, Eddie?
I'm usually the grumpy one, so
There you
I don't
go.
know if that's funny or not, but it's yeah. I mean, actually the majority of my work. I mean, the majority of my work is pretty dramatic, thriller based and drama. I mean, I did come from the advertising world, which unfortunately has really bad humor in it, so I really can't take credit for that. So, but yeah, I'm typically very grumpy and miserable. So maybe that's funny. I don't know.
We all balance each other out.
Yeah. So another one of the qualities that we saw in the film was with the interactions between the actors. And I know you said you all worked together before. So and then you talked about also how you all came in as a group, so you knew that you were all going to have to work together and develop a story around that. How is that process different, where you have to first assign, who your cast is going to be, so then it's picking from there to assign the characters?
Yeah, the process of writing this was so different because we basically knew who the actors were and what their strengths were, before we ever had the theme or had a script. One thing that our team did that I thought was really helpful is we all actually like got together a couple weeks before the actual shootout happened, just to like kind of chat and see where everybody's at and see what kind of film everybody wanted to make. So I think that was really helpful, that we already kind of had an idea of kind of the tone of something that we might want to do before we ever got on set. But it's like, I wish I could like write and know who like my cast was like every time. It was so much fun to like write it because I was like, oh, like we need to make Jude do this because Jude is really good at like being funny without trying to be funny. Or, you know, like Vin is just Vin is so funny. And I don't think he realizes it. Like he's always like, I do all these comedies with you, Joe, but I'm not funny. I'm like, you're freaking hilarious. So it was just, yeah, I don't know. It's just so much fun writing for people that you know and like wanting to play to their strengths and getting to like really highlight what you know makes them just like light up on camera.
Yeah, I'll say that's also I remember one of the ideas, at least genre-wise, was like somebody, I think it was, I can't remember, it was Jake maybe they mentioned
heist
doing
thing?
a horror or a heist or something like that. So this totally came up the same way. Just excellent.
I know we had all these like grand ideas. We're like, we could do it in one shot. It could be like a heist movie. And then we were like, we're never going to get that one shot in that little amount of time.
So another question is, what we were wondering is, did you also participate in 72-hour shootout again this year, and how is that different with COVID and everything else going on?
I unfortunately was not able to participate, just where I was at that point in time, but Eddie did.
Yeah, we actually, Jen and I actually talked. Jen actually talked about it. And yeah, unfortunately, you know, I think everything just got. Sorry, I think my mic is.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of that one. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, so yeah, so my being that we were all in the lockdown, you know, shut in and so forth, I had worked on I'd been thinking of an idea that was related to a lot of the backlash of that a lot of Asian Americans were going through because of the pandemic, and how a lot of us were you know, being targeted unfairly as a result of it. So I just had this idea, and I didn't really know if it would work out. And what ended up happening was it sort of was like a last minute decision, and I called one of the actors, which Joe and I had worked with before, and it was about a young immigrant who is dealing with the challenges of the pandemic as an Asian American woman, or an immigrant rather, who you know, but she's sort of like she has a new place that she's trying to, you know, claim as her own in the U.S. basically, and that's titled Home Alone. Yeah, and it did pretty. I guess, yeah, we came in runner up, and hopefully be able to screen it with you guys next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So speaking of that, one final question that I have for each of you is, what's next? Could you talk about what goals you, or what projects you have coming up and what we should be looking out for?
Let's see, what do I have coming up? Well, I have a home studio, so I'm narrating a lot of audiobooks right now, randomly. One by an Asian American writer named Jennifer Yen. The book's called A Taste for Love. It comes out in 2021, so I'm narrating that right now, which is fun. I am writing. I have an untitled pilot that is exploring the idea and the story of an Asian American woman who's trying to kind of figure out what it actually makes her happy when her parents disown her for dating an African American man. So I wanted to kind of play along a little bit with, especially with everything that's been going on these last few months, just like the cultural divide between those two cultures, and just kind of what's happening right now with Black Lives Matter and Asian American, the racism against Asian Americans, and also those two communities, how they have been very divided for a very long time, and how those could come together. So that's kind of what I'm working on, and hopefully I'll get to finish that and shoot a teaser or shoot something with it in 2021.
Yeah, no, just be quick. I'm just working on a lot of scripts. One of them, which is that Joe and I actually shot a concept piece for. It's called Noiland, and that's I won't get into that, but I'm also producing quite a bit. One of the ones that it's coming out pretty soon, which I'm really excited about. Stars Ronnie Chen and Tai Ma. It's a short film called Father Son, which is a Chinatown story. It's sort of noir. So we're going to basically we're in the post in that. So I'm looking forward for that to come out and hopefully be able to share it with you guys as well.
Yeah.
I just want to do one last plug, which my wife, if you guys can catch it, if you haven't seen it, please watch Netflix's Queen's Gambit. Christiane Seidel, she's my wife. She's on the show, and
she's so good.
It's been really great. So it's been number one on Netflix for the past couple of weeks worldwide.
All
so
right.
very excited.
Yeah. And then just real quick, I see you have your handles already in your titles. So you want to just let people know where to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at jhuangnyc. I'm terrible at Twitter, so I will not be on there, but I'm on Instagram, and that's my handle.
All right. And Eddie, how much did you pay to get that handle?
Yeah, you know, I'm like a very old guy, so I was really quick on that. So my handle's soy sauce chicken. I've had it for forever. So you can find me on IG and Facebook on that. And if Jen, you should also mention your website, but mine is filmmakeratnight.com. So you can find out more about me there too.
Yeah, mine's www.jhuangnyc, just like my handle.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you both so much for joining
you.
us. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. Please check out all of their work, and be sure to find out the rest of our what's going on with our festival, which is happening until Sunday. You can see our website in the comments. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Have a good night,
Thanks, I
guys.
appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You say this kill, black and brown, and when will you talk about class in this story? The rest is allegory. Come together, unionize, see it through each other's eyes. No need to fight over supplies while workers save lives. They need protection too. What we gonna do? Organize our way through. And for those behind bars, we must fight hard. Global pandemic, endemic, systemic. No equality, no quality of life.